webcam out. Evening all. So welcome everyone to episode 10 of Shark Attack Case Files. So today we had I think on a previous video somebody suggested doing a bull shark attack. So I think today we'll look at a bull shark attack. So where are we going to go to look at a bull shark attack? We're going to go to Central America, to Nicaragua, which borders Costa Rica, Honduras and El Salvador. So yeah, it's a country I don't really know a lot about Nicaragua, if I'm being honest. I've never been there. And we're going to be looking at an attack that took place in the San Juan River, which is a river that links the Caribbean Sea or the North Atlantic into this large lake here, which is Lake Nicaragua. It's a freshwater lake which is roughly 26 meters deep and covers an area of about 3,100 square miles, and it's like a tectonic lake that was created, I guess, many hundreds of thousands of years ago. Yeah, so it's a completely freshwater system, and this lake's like part of a catchment area, and all the water goes into the lake and flows out into the Caribbean Sea. And they used to think that the bull sharks were endemic to this lake, but then studies showed that what was happening is the bull sharks were moving from the Caribbean Sea up this river and into the lake. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe they breed in here, or they just found a new habitat. But it's just very interesting that obviously these bull sharks, if you don't know, that bull sharks like a euryhaline fish, which means they can basically tolerate fresh water and salt water. They have adaptations in their sort of rectal glands where they can excrete salts through that, or they have a way of reducing excretion of salts, and then they have special functions in their kidneys and their liver which help them retain salts, and also their gills can more efficiently uptake salt even in fresh water. So they're very adept at living in fresh water, even though actually recently scientists have shown that potentially bull sharks can only live in fresh water for up to 4 years, which is, I think, interesting. So that potentially that at some point they have to go back into the sea. And I mean, the bull sharks have been found like 2,500 miles up the Amazon River, which is crazy. So we're going to be looking at this attack anyway that took place in this river. So the attack took place the 17th of June 1938, which is obviously many years ago, just before the outbreak of World War II. And the attack involved two people, so a man and a woman, Miss Eleanor Hodgson and Isaac Oles, and they were swimming. And the reason they were swimming I'll get into in a bit more detail. Yeah, species was a bull shark or bull sharks. It took place in the day, don't have an exact time. So the water is quite shallow in the river, maybe no more than a couple of meters deep. It was a full moon. The water temperature in the river is about 24 degrees, so yeah, pleasant water temperature. Attack was fatal. Basically the narrative was they were swimming to shore after their boat ran aground. So a little bit more detail in this attack was there was a crew. It doesn't say how many crew, but there was a crew. There was a captain. M.L. Brown was the captain, and there was a crew, and they were travelling from Bluefields, which is on the Caribbean Sea on the coast of Nicaragua. They were travelling from Bluefields all the way through the San Juan River to a port of San Carlos, which sits at the bottom end of Lake Nicaragua. So this is a voyage, I guess at 4 knots. It would take a couple of days to make this voyage. So they set off, everything was going well, and they're making their way into the river, and they got into the river system, but there'd actually been a drought, so it had lowered the water level quite far down, so a lot of exposed sandbanks, and obviously creating some shipping danger. So as they were navigating their way through the river, I'm sure this captain had done this many times, but they actually struck a sandbar that they couldn't see, or it wasn't on any of the maps, and the boat just began to sink. So everyone had to jump in the water, and so obviously this is a large river, so that they would have been in the middle part of the river when they hit the sandbank, and then the boat started sinking. So the nearest bank would have been 150 meters away, which is quite a decent swim. So all the crew had to go into the water, and then they started, all of them, swimming towards the shore. and obviously you're going to have some swimmers who are more efficient than others, and they started making their way to the side. But unfortunately, as they were making their way to the side, Eleanor and Isaac were just attacked and mauled by bull sharks as they were making their way out. And some reports say that they drowned while being attacked, and some reports say they were fatally attacked by the sharks. So they obviously, yeah, they, you know, I imagine they were the end of the group swimming out of the river, and then they were just the ones chosen by the sharks, and then they were attacked. And I imagine the sharks were, yeah, looking to feed on these people, so it's probably a predation. And they never recovered the bodies, so these people were, I would say, killed while being drowned by the sharks and then eaten by the sharks. So yeah, in fresh water. So just, yeah, completely fresh water as well. This is not even brackish fresh water. So yeah, it's a short video today, but it's just interesting that even in a river such as this, you're gonna get eaten by sharks, unfortunately. And just so you understand the sort of the frequency and the range of the bull sharks, I just got some statistics here. And in the documented attacks, there's only been 226 documented case files on bull shark attacks. Obviously, in reality there'd be many more than that have actually taken place, but ones with decent documentation, and then 49 of those have been fatal. So yeah, I would say it's much lower than tiger sharks and great white sharks. And the last fatality from a bull shark actually took place in 2020 in Australia, and then the first documented fatality took place in 1880, also in Australia. And you can see the distribution of fatalities. So Australia has the most of 14, mainly in the northern parts of Australia, where, you know, obviously where you've got warmer waters. Obviously down the southern part of Australia is a little bit more temperate. And then La Reunion, which is infamous for shark attacks, which we'll cover in another video. There's been 8 bull shark fatalities in La Reunion. And in the US, I think mainly Florida, you've got 8 bull shark attacks. Like, these are all fatalities, so did 8 bull shark fatalities. And then in Africa, there's quite a few, sort of Tanzania, Mozambique, which is obviously the west side of Africa here, Tanzania, Mozambique, and South Africa. Yeah, you've got a few attacks. And then even in the Seychelles, Indian Ocean here, there's a fatality. New Caledonia, which is off the west side here, in these Pacific Islands, there's been fatalities. And then Nicaragua, 3 fatalities. So this fatality here, and then there's also been fatalities that have happened in Lake Nicaragua. Yeah, and then there's been a couple in Brazil, and also, interestingly enough, a couple in Iran and Iraq, which were again freshwater attacks, which we might cover in another video. But and then one in the Bahamas. So yeah, so these are the areas to avoid if you don't want to get eaten by a bull shark. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that one. It's a short one today, but first one we've done on the bull sharks. So yeah, take care of yourselves. See you later.